Hello and welcome everyone. Thabet Mabrouk is with us today. He's an experienced Agile coach, and he will share with us the framework, his own framework for running efficient team retrospectives. Welcome, Thabet. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Alexander. Thanks for having me. Thank you for everyone attending this meetup. I will just share my screen. Okay. So do you hear my screen, Alexander?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, perfect. So just as I mentioned, I try to productize my experience into a small framework, which is very pragmatic framework that you can use to run effective retrospective and help your team design solutions for the most critical issues that they face in less than 70 minutes. The retrospective is named R.G.P.P.E, and you will know during this presentation what the abbreviation of this R.G.P.P.E means. Who I am an Agile coach, strategist, and creator. I created two pragmatic digital products, the Scrum Master Kickstarter, which is a small digital products that help junior Scrum Masters master their context in the first 4 weeks when they start with a new team, and the R.G.P.P.E retrospective, where we will try to dive in this meetup. So I would like to start always with the problems. The problem one that I saw is a lot of Scrum Masters fail to help the team drive impactful actions at the end of the retrospective, meaning that we discuss, and we don't have the right structure to derive at the end the actions that we need to do to solve the problem. The second problem is the teams lack real commitment to take actions. Instead, they rely on endless discussion. We discuss a lot, but to commit to action that can improve our processes is sometimes lacking. The next problem is like teams would like to want to innovate, want to think out of the box, but they don't have the needed framework. And the next one is like teams don't see the impact of the retrospective on their day-to-day work, causing them to lose enthusiasm and focus. The people are finding the retrospective very boring and don't have a big motivation to join. The fifth problem is like Scrum Masters spend a lot of time just preparing for a retrospective. And the ROE of this preparation, the act of the preparation, is very low because sometimes they derive nothing from this retrospective. And that's why they should think about preparing the retrospective in less time and make it pragmatic and powerful to derive effective action at the end of the retrospective. So without further ado, let's go and let's dive in. So for me, just small things to get all the people in the table before each retrospective, just to prepare the agenda, try to prepare the agenda, prepare the boards, draw a matrix, impact and ease to implement, see experiment phase in this booklet. I will show you this kind of matrix, and also prepare the materials, taking notes and markers and so on. And as an SM, be the first person in the room. This is just a small preparation before the retrospective. And at the start of the retrospective, this is a very important thing. Put the people into ease. So to be open, so help them have the smooth and comfortable experience during the retrospective. Psychological safety is key here. If you don't give the needed environment to your team to be open, honest, and transparent, forget about a retrospective. There will be no big value because you will get a fake, how I can say, problems or a fake pain points that the team have. At the start of each retrospective, just try to always remember the people about some principles, which are 4 principles. We work together, but alone each team member will have the space to think and contribute silently and individually. Minimize the discussion. We will limit discussions if they are not helping us make progress. Tangible beats abstract. Sticky notes are your voice. Describe your ideas as a clear as possible. So getting started is more important than being right. We are not searching perfection. We would like just to make progress. This principle, I borrowed them from an existing framework, but I used them and I tried them, and they are very, very impactful. And they are principles that, how we can say, make, or how we can say, shape the needed environment to do a very good retrospective. So the R.G.P.P.E framework, just to give you an overview, what is exactly the R.G.P.P.E abbreviation means. So the review review the last experiments. So build on positive. A lot of people from the last retro did nothing, or they have bottlenecks or some learnings or something like this. So I would like to give at the beginning of every retrospective the opportunity to the team to just share the learnings and review what they did from the last retrospective. There is another phase, gather inputs from the team, the problem, the opportunities, and the challenges. And there is also the pick, decide which problem or challenge to address on each retro. And the produce is like meaning design and brainstorm solutions to solve the picket problem and challenge, and then to make some experiments and decide on which solution to implement and drive an action plan or list of experiments. The R.G.P.P.E framework goals, for me, it gives a structure, how we can say, to help the team take actions on their processes, improvement, and experiment. It makes the work focused on solving real problem the team faces. It triggers innovation inside the team. We will use some format like the how might we. I think that all the people know that, but it is a kind of constructive way to reformulate a problem in order to set the stage to generate solutions. We delete the overhead of preparing the retrospective as a Scrum Master. As a Scrum Master, you will have one format, use it, and try to automatize it in your team so that you teach the people and your team the problem-solving skill. Yeah, let's start now with the first, how we can say, step, which is review, about 10 minutes. So in this review, just review what has been done as an experiment in the last period. What are the learnings from what we have experimented as a team? Identify the obstacle that impede us to experiment or to implement our experimentation, and decide whether to continue doing what we already experimented or not. So, and please share some wins if you have reached something as a team. So best practices to do the review: visualize the last action we agreed on before the retrospective. You can have also a board for the retrospective, to do, doing, or done. Note results, learnings, obstacles, and decisions, and keep it time boxed to 10 minutes. Very important thing is to thank to give a thank you to your team, and that because they try to improve or to move something. So celebrate the small wins to build on positives and gain momentum to improve more. Don't forget that, because this is a very important thing to do. The next phase is gather. Gather is like, it is a way to collect inputs, to collect problems and challenges, or how we can say, opportunities to explore from the team. For me, I'm using two questions, simple questions. What is the biggest problem or challenge that impeding us reaching our goals, and what opportunities to explore that could help us accomplish our goal more efficiently? I put them on a board and I ask the people to brainstorm answers to these questions. And then I try to duplicate, to delete duplicates and also cluster these ideas. And this is what about the gather phase. It's like a very basic step. Then the phase of picking is like to choose. I'm using also the dot voting because it's the method, the well-known methods. It's a very easy thing. Just give 3 dots to the people and ask them to vote on the most pressing problem or the most interesting opportunity to explore. And please, this is one thing in step 3, pick one problem. Ask the people to keep only one problem, to focus on one problem and try to solve this problem. Don't try to tackle a lot of problems in the same time, because your effort will be dispatched between these things and you will have a very, very low impact. Reformulate the problem into an opportunity means that how might we format? For example, the technical debt is very high, so how might we decrease the technical debts? You can, in this phase, you can use also how we can say another methods to pick the most pressing problem or opportunity. For example, you can use how we can say the straw poll voting or any other methods to choose the most pressing problem. The next phase is to produce. It is also very simple brainstorming. Just you put this problem, reframe it into how might we, and invite the people to brainstorm solution to that and to think about possible solution. Ask them to just go for quantity over quality, just give the idea that they think could solve this problem, then cluster them, delete duplicates, and also use the same exercise of the dot voting to choose the solutions that you think, the 20% of the solution that you think could make the biggest impact in solving the problem, or the 80% of the impact on solving the problem or the challenge that the team face. Afterwards, just here some best practices is during the brainstorming, invite the people to go for quantity, not for quality, because the more we generate ideas, the more likely we will have a good idea to solve our problem. So stay focused, please, in one problem that we agree to tackle. Focus, focus, focus. The next phase is the longest one. It is the experimentation. From our solution, we will try to derive some actions. Please remember that the retrospective is the opportunity where the team should, how we can say, change things and improve their situation by taking action. Action is the most important output of how we can say a retrospective. So it is not aimed just to discuss. We should keep in mind that not just going to the retrospective to discuss things, we are here to try to improve our situation as a team and as individuals and as a company. All what we are doing is collecting our hypothesis that we think could solve a problem for us. All our solution still hypotheses or how we can say some assumptions about things that could solve our solution. So experiments will prove or deny that our solutions are working or not. So what I use this matrix, that impact and ease to implement matrix. I took this from the book named Problem Solving 101. It is a very, very nice book and a very that I recommend for everyone to read. And this matrix has two axes, how we can say the impact, high and low, and easy to implement, hard and easy. Just try to drag and drop your solution, that the top voted solution, and try to put them and place them in this matrix. How to do that? Just take the solution, put it in the middle here in this area, and just ask the team to go high or low regarding the impact, or left or right regarding easy or hard to implement. You will at the end have a matrix like this. So how I can say fill it with solution. S3 seems to be the one that is easy to implement it and will not take a lot of effort and will have the biggest impact. So all the things that will be, how we can say, clustered in this area should be tackled first, because it will not take a lot of effort from ourselves, and it will have a bigger impact. Then how we can say, try to break them down into small actions. Ask the team which small steps we should take starting tomorrow to work toward implementing this, the selected solution. The team will brainstorm actions. And then the Scrum Master will try also to write down, how we can say, or to summarize these actions in a clear way. And then he will try, or she will try, to add some key results or success criteria to each derived action from the team. The success criteria is the outcome that we'll use to judge whether our actions are solving the problem or not. It's like a metric. Example of that, we have a lot of technical depth. For example, the solution will be increase the test coverage, refactor the module that causes the most technical depth. And here we have actions to take. For example, choose one module to refactor, No new feature without unit test. You ask the team to always write the unit testing, and also change or document your changes. The key result to success criteria is, or the success criteria is less bugs. Now we can say less bugs in the chosen module and less technical depths in the chosen module. This is how we can say that our solution solved our problem. After the retrospective, we are done with this how we can say the steps with the framework. Some best practices after the retrospective: document the result, share it with the team, and make it visual in the board or something like this. Try to visualize it. I recommend making a retrospective board and help the team in case they face obstacles on the implementation of the agreed actions. I just summarized some key things about best practice in the retrospective. You as a Scrum Master, try to speak less, ask more, listen to each idea and the perspective, keep the energy high in the room, make it fun, try to make it fun. Preparation is very important, but don't spend more than 1 hour preparing for the retrospective, because the ROE of this preparation will be very, very low. Automate your retrospective preparation. Just have a template, repeated until you install this how we can say, you teach the people the skills of problem solving, and then you can delete the retrospective, because when they have a problem, they will solve it, or they will solve it on that second that happen when it happens, without waiting for a retrospective. And don't forget to revisit the principles of slide 11 in each retro. Try to always speak about them. This is very important to help your team keep it as a habit. Keep the time box, always visualize and document your improvement actions. The R.G.P.P.E Framework conclusion is a meta framework. For each step, you can use any tool to do the job. So for example, in the gather, you can use any other methods to gather ideas. For the pick, you can use anything to decide on which challenge to tackle. So just feel free to fill it with what you want as a methods to do the steps. This framework integrates the classical way of doing retrospective, but also some design thinking. And when you say innovation, you say design. The team gets more creative on the retrospective, because we reformulate this, the how might we, into how we can say we open the thinking into more creativity. It is very short from comparing to the other retrospective. I'm doing it in 1 hour. And people are very impressed from my side, from my experience, about the amount of progress and ideas we generate in just a few time. And there is a very important thing, which is no one dominates the discussion, because we will minimize the discussion into the minimum. We will just have the sticky notes that speaks. Teams will see that they actually doing things to improve, not just speaking, because people are fed up with discussion and speaking. You as an SM, you will be seen as an expert in innovation and change management. There is testimonial. I'm now collecting testimonials based on this framework. I created this in 2000 last year. And there is someone who tried that, and he sent me how we can say a message on LinkedIn, and so he told me, "Hey Thabet, I tried your framework twice, and it worked very well. Thanks again. This helps me bring my retro and our teams to the next level." And this is one of the people who took the framework and just applied as it is. Yeah. That's it. So now we are done. Thank you very much for your attention. My recommendation is to try this out. Try this out for the next retro. Enjoy. Let me know your experience and feedback. Share this with your network. And if you have any problem to run it, or any question, just contact me on LinkedIn. And now the stage is yours, and I'm happy to answer your questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Thabet, for the inspiring presentation. Let's continue with the discussion, and I will stop the recording now and invite everyone to switch on their cameras and microphones and have a chat with Thabet.